Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry it's been a while, but today we'll be making some homemade noodles. We'll be putting them through the rolling machine and everything, so stand by and I'll show you guys how we make that. So right now I am taking out 1 cup of egg yolks. Oops, wrong one. But don't throw out the egg whites, because those will come in handy for when you want to make some homemade angel food cakes. And you can store them in the freezer until whenever you're ready to use them, and they won't spoil or anything. There's my little helper for the day. I can't do anything in the kitchen that he doesn't want to not help. The reason I'm putting the egg white in this little bowl first before I pour it in with the others is if you get any egg yolks in it, it will not get nice and it will not whip up for an angel food cake. So if that happens, just dump out that bad egg white. Now we're going to whip this up, the egg yolks up, with 1½ cups of boiling water. Pour it in slow. You don't want the egg yolks too. So now you want to stir the egg yolks and the hot water until it's all nice and foamy. Kind of like this. You could also use a mixer for this, but I don't like washing my mixer, so I just hand whisk a lot of it. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Stir that in. I'm going to be mixing it in here since my other bowl might not be large enough. Now we need approximately 9 cups of flour. Now I'm just going to pour the wet ingredient over my flour mixture. I'm going to start by mixing it with a spoon, but I'm going to have to end up kneading it with my hands then, but give it a start with this. Now I'm going to be kneading it with my hands just until it's all well mixed and forms a nice ball. So it took about exactly 9 cups of flour. I did not add any more. So now we're just gonna cover it and let it sit for about 15 minutes. Then we'll come back to it. So now we're gonna knead the dough a little bit again. Oh, it looks a little bit sticky. Oh! I kneaded the dough a little bit, so now we're gonna run it through the machine. And I personally have never used a machine like this. You can unscrew this, bring it down. Ooh. And then you can change these. This is to flatten it. Then you got two different sizes for the pasta. This looks almost like it might be a linguine size or maybe a little bit wider. But first we're gonna have to flatten it out. So I'm gonna be putting the flat one in first. And if any of you have any idea what era this is from, that'd be pretty interesting if you could write it in the comments. And I'm assuming I put it in on this side, and then it comes out right here. Right in there. That's what my guess is. But I never used it, so we're going to be learning it together. So I just took my oven rack and put foil over it, and I'm going to use that for my rack. Alright, so here goes. I think my dough is a little bit sticky. I'm going to try a smaller piece. Usually you don't have to put flour on it like this, but I don't think I got my texture right. It's a little bit too sticky. Now I'm just gonna take small amounts at a time. Try and flatten it out a little bit. Pat it down a little bit with flour. Doesn't take much. And we'll try and run this one through. See if we get better luck this time. Wow, this one did better. It's all in one piece and no holes, but it's still kind of ripply. I'll just continue doing the same thing until I get all of it done. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of noodles. This is how many flattened out noodle pieces I got, whatever you call them. And these. My last ones turned out better than my first ones, of course. So now we're ready to run them all through the second time. And let's see how that works. The second time has to go through twice before you can cut them. So here goes. The long ones I'm gonna cut in half so they don't crinkle as easy when they're going through the machine. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on it. I just sprinkle a little bit of on it. Mom? Not much at all. And we'll run it through. So that's rolling it out a lot better the second time than it did the first time. Now that I got everything put through the second time, all of them, Now I'm going to try it with that cutter, and we're going to see how that turns out. Oh wow, there they come. Wow. Leave it, Junior. Leave it. Hey, Junior. Wow. Hey. You want to play with the first ones? I don't know how it's all going to turn out with a little toddler trying to help me, but let's see if we got luck with this one too. Oh, half of them are staying around the roller. The cutter one. Looks like they're trying to come out. Wow, I never used an old-fashioned noodle maker like this, but I'd say it's kind of cool. And so they dry properly. You just want to hang them back up. And you want to let them hang for a couple days or so until they're nice and dry, and then you can store them in an airtight container or in bags, or however you want to store them. But now I'm going to be putting all of them through the cutter part, and I'll see you once that's done. So I'm going to, instead of hanging them up like I originally thought I was going to do, I'm just going to leave them out on a tray like this to dry. And you kind of want to make sure that none of them are stuck together when they get cut, just so they dry properly. And a way that works the best for this is if you have like a spare bedroom and you put a clean sheet over the whole bed and just put it on the bed like this. They dry a lot quicker if they're spread out more thinly. So that's everything on these noodles, and I'm actually going to make some fresh ones for dinner, some homemade chicken noodle soup, and I'll try and have that for the next video. Thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a blessed day.